They told me I was making a mistake, that I was choosing to become obsolete, to watch the world move forward without me. They were right. But what they didn't understand was that I was also choosing something else, something the optimized, the enhanced, the immortal could never have again. I was choosing to be human, fully, completely, temporarily human. My name is David Chen, and I am 73 years old. According to every medical scan, every genetic analysis, every cellular assessment, I am dying. My telomeres are fraying, my organs are slowly failing, my neurons are firing more slowly each year. I am, by every measure that matters in 2089, natural, and I am the last. But let me tell you why I'm not afraid. The year was 2042 when the first optimization clinics opened. I was 26, fresh out of graduate school, working as an architectural designer in New Seattle. The city had just finished its vertical expansion, those great towers that stretched into the clouds, each one a self-contained ecosystem. I remember the advertisements everywhere, on every screen, every surface, every commute. Beautiful people with impossible symmetry, their eyes bright with enhanced cognition, their movements graceful with optimized muscle memory. Become more was the slogan. Simple, seductive. The procedure was elegant, really. A series of CRISPR-based interventions that rewrote your genetic code cell by cell. Enhanced immune systems that could fight any disease. Neurons that fired faster, formed connections more readily. Muscles that never atrophied. Skin that healed without scars. And most importantly, telomerase activation that essentially stopped aging at your biological prime. My colleagues went first. I watched them return to work after their optimization periods, usually about 3 months. They seemed the same, but more. Sarah could suddenly speak 5 languages fluently. Marcus's chronic back pain vanished. Elena's thoughts seemed to move at light speed, her designs becoming increasingly brilliant. You should do it, David. Elena told me over lunch one day. We were sitting in the cafeteria on the 127th floor, the city spreading below us like a circuit board. It's not just about living longer. It's about living better. Fuller. I pushed my food around my plate. Real food was already becoming rare. Most people were switching to optimized nutrition pace that gave them exactly what their enhanced bodies needed. I don't know, I said. Doesn't it feel like cheating somehow? Elena laughed, but not unkindly. Cheating at what? Life isn't a game, David. It's just life. And now we have the technology to make it better. Refusing it is like refusing antibiotics because you want to fight off infection naturally. She had a point. I knew she had a point, but something in me resisted. I met Maya 6 months later. She was a botanist, one of the few still working with actual plants rather than synthetic biomatter. We met at a heritage garden, one of those preserved spaces where non-optimized flora still grew according to their natural cycles. She was kneeling by a bed of roses, her hands in the soil, and when she looked up at me, I saw that her eyes were asymmetrical, her left one slightly smaller than her right. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. You're not optimized, I said, before I could stop myself. She smiled. Neither are you, I can tell. You still move like gravity matters. We talked for hours that day about choices, about what it meant to be human, about whether consciousness itself might change when you rewrote the biological substrate it emerged from. My parents were in the first wave, Maya told me as we walked through the garden. They're both optimized, they're brilliant, healthy, probably going to live for 200 or 300 years, but sometimes when I look at them, I feel like I'm talking to someone through glass. They're there, but different, smoother, like someone sanded down all the rough edges that made them. Do you think they regret it? I asked. She was quiet for a long time. I don't think they can regret it. The optimization process includes emotional regulation. They don't feel regret the way we do. They've moved past it. That night, I made my decision. I would stay natural. When I told my parents, my mother cried. My father, already 2 years into his optimization, simply nodded with that new preternatural calm. I understand, he said, though I don't think I actually do anymore. The version of me that could have understood is gone. That sentence haunted me for years. Maya and I married in 2044. It was a small ceremony. Most of our friends and family were optimized by then, and while they were supportive, there was a distance growing, not hostile, just distance, like we were speaking different dialects of the same language. We had our first child, Sophie, in 2046. The pregnancy was difficult. Maya's unoptimized body struggled in ways that would have been trivial to prevent. The doctors were kind but puzzled, as if we'd chosen to give birth in a cave by firelight. "Are you sure you don't want to optimize the fetus?" the geneticist asked at every appointment. "We can ensure perfect health, enhanced cognition, extended lifespan. There's no medical reason to..." "We're sure," Maya said each time, her hand on her belly. Sophie was born on a Tuesday morning. She was small, wrinkled, and screaming. Her left foot was slightly turned inward, a minor defect that could have been corrected in utero. She was perfect. The divergence accelerated in the 2050s. The optimized population began to pull away from us, not socially, not intentionally, but simply because their trajectory had changed. They were learning faster, thinking deeper, living longer. Schools split into standard and enhanced tracks. Workplaces began to quietly prefer optimized employees who never got sick, never slowed down, never aged. Maya and I both lost our jobs within a year of each other. Not fired, exactly, just made redundant. There were no roles that couldn't be done better by someone enhanced. We moved to a smaller apartment, then a smaller one. The city was changing around us, becoming designed for people who could process information faster, move more efficiently, need less sleep. It was like watching the world become fluent in a language we'd never learned. Sophie started school in 2051. She was 5 years old, bright and curious, with Maya's love of plants and my tendency to stare at buildings for too long. The first day, she came home crying. "The other kids are so fast," she said. I can't keep up, and they already know things, like lots of things. The teacher said it's because their parents optimized them and mine didn't." Maya held her while I stood in the doorway, my heart breaking into pieces I didn't know existed. "Am I broken?" Sophie asked. "No," Maya said fiercely. "You're not broken. You're natural. You're exactly what a human being is supposed to be. But everyone else is better." Maya looked at me over Sophie's head. In her eyes, I saw the question we'd both been avoiding. Had we been selfish? Had we condemned our daughter to a lesser life because of our philosophical stance? That night, we gave Sophie the choice. "When you're 18, I told her, you can decide for yourself. If you want to optimize, we'll support you. We'll find a way to pay for it, but that's your choice, not ours." She nodded, not really understanding. She was 5. Our second child, Marcus, was born in 2049. Our third, Lily, in 2052. Each birth was harder on Maya's aging, unoptimized body. Each child faced the same challenges Sophie had. Each time, I wondered if we were being brave or just stubborn. The world kept changing. By 2060, the optimized population had achieved things we'd only dreamed of. Cancer was eradicated. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, heart disease, all relics of the unoptimized past. The first Mars colony was established, crewed entirely by enhanced humans who could withstand the journey and the harsh environment. Art, music, literature, all reaching new heights as enhanced minds pushed boundaries further and further. And we naturals, we became a curiosity, a remnant. Museums opened exhibits on natural humanity. Children on field trips would stare at us, observing our wrinkles, our slower movements, our obvious aging. Why did they choose to stay that way? I heard a child ask his teacher once. The teacher, young and optimized, struggled to answer. "Different values," she finally said, "from a different time." I wanted to say something, to explain that we weren't from a different time. We were from right now, just traveling through it differently. But I didn't. The words felt too heavy, too complicated for the gap between us. By 2070, the divergence was complete. The optimized had become something new. Not quite post-human, but not quite the humans we'd been either. They called themselves evolved, which felt both accurate and somehow sad. The evolved could download skills directly into their neural tissue. They networked their minds for collaborative thinking. They lived in environments that would kill me in minutes. High radiation, extreme temperatures, even vacuum for short periods. They were, by any definition, better than us at nearly everything, except perhaps one thing: dying. Maya died in 2075. She was 68 years old. The cancer started in her lungs and spread faster than her unoptimized immune system could fight. We could have stopped it. Even then, even for a natural, the treatments existed. But they would have bought her maybe a year, maybe two in pain and diminished capacity. She chose to let go. "I'm tired, David." She told me in the hospice, her hand paper thin in mine. "I've had a good life, a real one. I've felt everything, the joy and the pain and the fear and the love, all of it, undiluted." "I'm not ready," I said, crying in a way the evolved rarely did anymore. Their emotional regulation prevented the extremes, smoothed out the peaks and valleys. "You're never ready," she said. "That's the point. If you were ready, if you could prepare perfectly for it, if you could optimize your response to it, it wouldn't mean anything." She died 3 days later, with me and our children around her. Sophie was 29, Marcus was 26, Lily was 23. All three still natural, though I'd told them countless times they could choose otherwise. After the funeral, Sophie came to me. "I'm going to optimize," she said. My heart dropped. "Sophie, not because I think you were wrong," she said quickly, "but because I want to see what it's like. I want to understand both sides of this thing, and I want to be around longer. For my kids. They chose to stay natural too, and someone needs to be here to support them when the world keeps changing." I held her. "I understand." And I did. Maybe that was the point. That understanding, that acceptance of choices that weren't yours. The evolved had that capacity too, but did they feel the weight of it the same way? Marcus and Lily stayed natural. They both had families, grandchildren who grew up navigating a world increasingly designed for people who weren't like them. I retired from work, such as it was, in 2078. I spent my days in community gardens, teaching younger naturals how to grow actual food. It became a kind of heritage skill, like blacksmithing or calligraphy. Quaint, historical, unnecessary but valued for its connection to the past. The evolved were kind to us, unfailingly kind. They set aside resources for natural humans: healthcare, housing, education. They created preservation zones where we could live at our own pace. They studied us, gently, trying to understand what they'd left behind. But kindness from a position of such superiority is hard to accept without feeling diminished. One day, a young evolved woman came to my garden. She couldn't have been more than 30, but she'd already lived through experiences I couldn't imagine. Studied on Luna, worked in the deep ocean, networked her mind with thousands of others. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Of course." "Why do you stay natural?" Everyone I ask gives me different answers. Philosophy, religion, fear, stubbornness. But what's your reason? I thought about it while I transplanted a tomato seedling. My hands were old now, spotted and shaking slightly. Hers were perfect, steady, enhanced. "Do you know what it feels like to be afraid you're going to die?" I asked. She considered. "I understand the concept. My biological death is still possible, though highly unlikely for centuries. But the existential weight of it? No. My emotional regulation prevents." "That's why," I said. "Not because I want to be afraid, but because I want to live. Really want it. The way you want water when you're thirsty, air when you can't breathe. The evolved have life. Lots of it. Centuries of it. But do you crave it? Do you wake up grateful for another day, not because it's pleasant, because the alternative is terrifying and final and real?" She was quiet for a long time. "I don't know," she finally said. "I don't think I can know. That knowledge died when we optimized away existential dread." "Then that's the cost," I said. "That's what you traded. Maybe it was worth it, maybe it wasn't, but it's gone. Now it's 2089, and I am the last. Not the last natural human. There are still a few thousand of us scattered across Earth and the colonies. But I'm the last of my generation. The last person alive who remembers the world before optimization, who chose to stay natural with full knowledge of what they were refusing. The others, they optimized eventually, or they died. I'm the only one stubborn enough or foolish enough to see it through to the end. My children visit when they can. Sophie, optimized now, but still somehow my daughter comes every week. She looks 35 and probably will for the next 2 centuries. Marcus and Lily visit with their families, my natural grandchildren, teenagers now, facing the same choices we all did. Great-grandpa, my youngest great-grandchild, asked last week, "What's it like to be old?" She's evolved, optimized from birth. She'll never know aging the way I do. Her body will maintain itself efficiently for longer than I can imagine. It's like watching a sunset, I told her. Beautiful because it's ending, because you know it can't last forever, and that makes every color more vivid, every moment more precious. She didn't understand. Not really. How could she? She's built for sunrise after sunrise after sunrise, each one as good as the last, stretching into a future without darkness. I'm in hospice now. The same kind of place where Maya died 14 years ago. The staff are all evolved, patient, caring, perfectly attuned to every biological need. They're wonderful, and they have no idea what it means to be here. Last night I had a dream. I was young again, standing in that heritage garden where I met Maya. The roses were blooming, and everything hurt in that sweet way things do when you're alive and know it. Maya was there, 30 years old and beautiful and mortal. We sat in the grass and didn't say anything, just felt the sun and the breeze and the shortness of forever. When I woke up, Sophie was sitting beside my bed. "I had them call me," she said. "Your vitals are declining." "Is this it?" I asked. She checked her neural interface, that slight unfocusing of the eyes that meant she was accessing data streams I couldn't perceive. "Probably, the next few days." "Are you afraid?" I asked her. "For you, yes. For me, I don't know. I can't access that fear the way you feel it." "The optimization I know," I said. "It's okay." And it was okay. She'd made her choice, just like I'd made mine. Just like Maya had, just like every human has to in their own way, in their own time. They ask me sometimes in these final days if I regret it. The doctors, the historians, the sociologists studying the natural human experience. Do I regret staying natural? Do I wish I'd optimized, extended my life, enhanced my capabilities, joined the evolved in their long march into the future? The answer is no. Not because the evolved are wrong. They're not. They're magnificent. They've achieved wonders. They'll probably spread across the galaxy, solve problems I can't imagine, create beauty I'll never see. They're humanity's next chapter, and it's going to be extraordinary. But I am humanity's last page of a previous chapter. And there's something profound in that, too. I've lived 73 years, not centuries, not millennia. 73 trips around the sun, each one bringing me closer to this moment. And because I knew it was coming, really knew it, felt it in my declining bones and failing organs, every one of those years meant something. Every morning was a gift. Every sunset was precious. Every moment with Maya, with my children, with the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, all of it burned bright because I really knew, that it would end. The evolved will have longer stories, but mine is complete, finite, real. Sophie is holding my hand now. Marcus just arrived. Lily is on her way. My natural grandchildren are here too, gathering around. Some of them will choose optimization after I'm gone. Some won't. It doesn't matter. They're here now, and that's what matters. "Tell them," I whisper to Sophie. "Tell them I wasn't afraid. Tell them it was worth it." "What was worth it?" she asks, tears in her enhanced eyes that maybe shouldn't be able to cry that way but do anyway. "Being temporary," I say. "Being fragile. Being beautifully, terribly human in the old way. All of it. Every moment." The light is dimming now, or maybe that's just my dying eyes. I can hear voices, my children, speaking words of comfort, sharing memories. The sounds blend together like music. I think about Maya. I think about that garden where we met. I think about every choice that led me here, to this moment, to this ending that gives meaning to everything that came before. The evolved will go on. They'll reach for the stars, rewrite reality, become something beyond our current understanding. They'll be magnificent. But I gotta be human. Fully, completely, temporally human. And as the darkness comes, gentle and natural and right, I realize I wouldn't trade that for anything. not even forever. This has been a Tomorrow Lore story. Thank you for listening. Sleep well, dream deep, and remember, every ending is what makes the story worth telling.